Kate Croy was a charming and intelligent young woman whose life, although outwardly prosperous, was filled with limitations and disappointments. She had lost her parents at an early age and found herself in the care of her Aunt Maud, a woman who was strict, domineering, and calculating. Her aunt saw in her niece an opportunity to strengthen her position in society by arranging a lucrative marriage. For Maud was completely unacceptable that Kate was carried away by a poor, though talented journalist Merton Denser. This union seemed to her nothing but a threat to family honor. Merton was a man with a high sense of dignity, but his poor financial situation and unprestigious work made him feel out of place in high society, where Kate revolved. Their feelings were sincere and deep, but love faced insurmountable barriers erected by society and Aunt Maud. The latter made it clear from the beginning that she would not tolerate such a union, and began to actively promote the idea of Kate's marriage to Lord Mark. Lord Mark was a man of wealth, title, and connections, ideally suited to become the husband of a young girl from high society. Kate, however, was not broken. Her determination and cunning began to show when she realized that fighting for the right to be with Merton would require not only love, but also a fair share of guile. Soon Millie Teal, a young American woman with a vast fortune, appeared on the horizon and became an unexpected player in the drama. Millie had come to London in search of adventure and new acquaintances, hoping to immerse herself in European culture. She was the complete opposite of most of high society, sincere, friendly, and slightly naive. Millie suffered from a fatal disease that almost no one knew about. She tried to enjoy life as much as she could, even if sometimes the sadness of realizing her condition made itself felt. Kate and Millie became fast friends. Kate felt that an American woman whose fortune was vast could play an important role in her own destiny. When Millie met Merton, she was charmed by his intelligence and mild manners. Millie immediately felt a deep sympathy for him, which gradually began to grow into a sincere crush. Kate noticed this and saw in it a chance for herself and Merton. The plan that sprang into Kate's mind was both daring and immoral. She suggested that Merton win Millie's trust and love. If Millie married him, their financial situation would be solved, and when the American woman died, the fortune would go to him. With that money, he and Kate would be able to be together without fear of society's judgment and Aunt Maud's interference. This plan required Merton to lie and manipulate, which initially made him deeply repulsed. However, Kate convinced him that their love deserved such a sacrifice and that they were simply taking a chance on fate. Merton began to spend more time with Millie, accompanying her on walks, discussing books, music, and art. Millie admired his intelligence and his delicate soul. She felt happy around him, and despite the severity of her illness, her eyes shone with joy. However, Merton began to feel an inner conflict. The more time he spent with Millie, the more he realized what a kind and bright person she was. His remorse grew stronger and stronger. He felt that he was deceiving not only her, but also himself. Meanwhile, Kate stayed in touch with Millie, pretending sincere friendship. She helped the American to organize parties, gave advice on closet, and suggested interesting routes for travel. But inside, she struggled with her own feelings. Her plan seemed increasingly complicated, especially when she noticed that Merton was beginning to grow attached to Millie. Jealousy and fear of losing Merton grew in her soul. Millie unsuspectingly suggested that they all go to Venice to enjoy its beauty. This city with its romantic atmosphere was to be the perfect place to end her journey. Kate and Merton accepted the invitation, realizing that this could be a defining moment. In Venice, Millie felt happy despite her deteriorating health. She marveled at the beauty of the city, enjoyed gondola rides, and tried not to think about her condition. However, tension was building between Kate and Merton. Kate was demanding that he follow through on the plan, and he was increasingly avoiding discussing the subject. He began to realize that he could not continue to use Millie for his own purposes. Millie, on the other hand, continued to believe in his sincerity and shared her dreams with him. She told him how she wanted to live the rest of her days surrounded by loved ones. Her sincerity made Merton feel even more guilty. One day, unable to bear the strain, Merton decided to confess the truth to Millie. He told her that his initial interest in her was part of a plan Kate had proposed. Millie listened to him in silence, and you could see the deep pain in her eyes. She didn't interrupt him, allowing him to speak to the end. When he finished, she looked at him with sadness, but not anger. Merton didn't wait for her response and walked away, leaving her alone with her thoughts. Kate was stunned to learn of Merton's action. She realized that their plan had failed and that now they could lose everything. But what bothered her most was that Merton was beginning to feel more than just sympathy for Millie. She accused him of betraying their love, and he accused her of being cold and insensitive in return. Their relationship was fraying at the seams. Millie was left alone for a long time thinking about what had happened. Her heart was broken, but she didn't let resentment take over. She realized that her life was coming to an end and she wanted to leave something good behind. Millie decided to help Kate and Merton, even though they were trying to trick her. She drew up a will so that their financial future would be secured. It was her final gift to those she considered friends, no matter what. When Millie died, her passing was a turning point in Kate and Merton's lives. They returned to London, but their relationship could no longer be the same. Kate felt devastated, realizing that she had lost not only her money, but also the man she loved. Merton was hurting too, realizing that their plan had ruined everything they had. He could no longer look at Kate the way he used to, and their bond was slowly fading. Millie, even after her death, had left a deep mark on their lives. Her generosity and kindness showed them how important honesty and sincerity are. This story was a lesson they remembered forever, but it was also a testament to how love mixed with self-interest and lies can lead to the destruction of even the strongest feelings.